Welcome once again to Get Indie Gaming. February was an awesome month for new indie games, and in this episode we continue the series where we run down the top 10 games according to the aggregated Metacritic scores from the gaming industry pundits. These scores and placings were correct as of the end of the month. We exclude any ports, remasters, or anything that's not a day one launch. We also focus on the highest score a game receives across their platforms. With that all said, let's tuck in and see which indie game of last month came out on top. At number 10 in the critics list for February with a score of 76, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine sees you walk through the back roads and field of the United States during the Great Depression, occasionally freight hopping or hitching a ride from one town to the next. In this one, stories turn into possessions, an inventory item that can be traded for other stories. While at times bleak, the sense of discovery throughout had Eurogamer calling it a compelling rejection of the rigid distinction between gameplay and story, a reminder that telling and retelling a story in itself can be a playful and hands-on experience. At number 9, launched on February the 8th for the PC and gaining an average score of 77, in a case of Distrust you play as Phyllis Malone, a former cop turned private eye within 1920 San Francisco. Here we have an adventure game that sees you bring together clues and information concerning death threats levelled at a local bootlegger. Polygon, who gave it a 90, said of it, "At 3 hours long, it held our attention all the way through, and that they were looking forward to playing many more games of this type in the future." In legendary Gary, coming from Evan Rogers, you play as a 20-something and help the protagonist become a better person in real life and a legend within gaming. GameSpew said of Gary, "It's unlike anything they'd played before. Its unique mixture of fantasy and reality makes for a thought-provoking, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes funny journey that often touches too close to home." Legendary Gary scored an average of 78, making it the 8th best rated indie game for February. In joint 6th position with a score of 79, Aegis Defenders hit the PC, Switch and PlayStation 4 February 8th. In it, you take on wild beasts, ruthless enemies and ancient gods within a 2D action platformer with its roots in tower defense combat. Critical Hit called the game design inspired and praised the characters with their witty dialogue. PC Gamer pointed out the fun side of the local co-op gameplay, and Gaming Nexus applauded the quality of the game given its first release from the team at Guts Development. Joining Aegis Defenders with a score of 79, Space Invaders Extreme for the PC and Xbox takes the essence of the original game from way back when and applies the benefits of modern graphic design and enhanced audio. Digitally downloaded and Gaming Age gave it the perfect score, with the latter saying it's an essential game for anyone's Steam library. Hardcore Gamer called it a flashy crowd pleaser and welcomed its return. On a cautious note, Destructoid took exception at its price, although commentated on its looks and sounds as being the best of any available version. At number 5, OctoGane made its way onto the PC early in the month and secured a solid 82. Playing as the titular mutant octopus, your mission is simply to cause havoc and to destroy the world. Critics like those at GameSpace took note of the sense of accomplishment the game provides as you make your way through the progression system, and while a simple premise, its execution will keep catching you with its delightful tirade of destruction. We missed this one first time round, although having played through it, we're in agreement with Rock Paper Shotgun, who called its delivery quietly brilliant. The first of 2 VR games in the critics' top 10 for February, Sprint Vector is a frantic VR adrenaline platformer designed to put your finesse to the test, and came away with an average of 83. VR Focus in their review said there's very little to dislike about it, and while there's a few hours to be had with the single player, the competitive nature of the multiplayer offering will keep you coming back for more. Road to VR agreed, calling it a comfortable racing experience, and DualShockers remarked it's a VR title anyone with such a system for the PC or PlayStation 4 should consider having. Taking the lower rank on the winner's podium, we have Bleed 2, an out-and-out pure arcade action game that features plenty of air dodging, bullet reflecting, and many bosses that came away with an average of 84. Leading the critical acclaim, Hardcore Gamer said it's a side-scrolling action perfected, and coming in at under $10, there's no reason to miss out on picking this up. We certainly have, and it's one of the finest run-and games of recent times. And like the New Game Network remarked, it echoes the likes of Contra without playing it lip service. Fine stuff indeed. In second place with a score of 85, Moss out on the PSVR Feb 27th sees you play as a little mouse called Quill as she heads off out for an adventure. This one hit the high notes for the VR and mainstream press alike. IGN called it a joy. Destructoid said of Moss it could easily be the flagship series for the PSVR, and GameSpew stated that the system had found its champion. It's straight up poster child, and as a game in its purest way, is simply golden. The critics' #1 game for February, Into the Breach, launched late in the month onto the PC and scored an average review of 91. In this turn-based strategy game, Games Planet gave it a perfect score, saying it rewrites the tactical gameplay rulebook and by doing so has created a superlative strategy game. IGN were equally gushing in their praise, saying the mech and pilot abilities provide a deep, satisfying and highly replayable experience where every turn creates a new complex puzzle for you to solve. While we've only played Into the Breach for a few hours, we're pretty much in agreement with Metro Games Central, who said of it, the team behind it have created an almost perfectly formed strategy game that hides its near infinite variety and depth beneath a deceptively simple presentation. And with that, we're almost done for this critical wrap-up for February. Do you agree with the critics' choices? If so, or if not, please let us know in the section below. Fancy more of these type of videos? Why not, if you've not yet done so, click on that like button and perhaps even go ahead and subscribe for more indie game goodness. Many thanks for watching and look forward to seeing you here again for more videos very soon.